by the end of the 4th week if this keeps
at,
up.
At best, after this game, they can only earn 7 points over the course of the remaining split. So currently, we're already seeing a team like Cloud9 at 7 points in the standings. So the race is on. But as you can see, we have now entered into pick and ban for this next match. LeBlanc banned away from Poppers. Vladimir, very strong champion, again being denied. But Eanix, how can they pivot in this game 2? What new thing can they try?
I mean,
get themselves
they
back.
could go ham. They could try whatever they want. You could pick another Alawi because the other one didn't work too well.
Yeah.
But it was mostly just situational stuff. They picked the Alawi, and I think that TLA handled it pretty well. So,
yeah, the Braum is going to be banned away from Nisker. No surprise to see that. Very long-time support player. Previously, Evaniscus.
Yep, and the thing here is Eanix just got a little bit weaker because it was Evaniscus and Impactful, and they do it all the time. I mean, I think they're like some of their names were like Evaniscus X Impactful or like Niskers X Impactful and Impactful X Niskers. So it's kind of like the bromance thing, but that bot lane got broken up and Deftly is now in here. So they lost a little bit of synergy in that bottom lane coming into this week and a little bit of an unexpected change they had to make.
Yeah, a bit hopeful. We'll see if they will be able to improve with that synergy over the course of the Challenger Series, as they are going to have to fight tooth and nail to earn a spot in the playoffs. Now, Elise banned away from Shorter Race. And Eanix looking at that final ban. Let's see what that is going to be. Swain, still available.
Swain.
Well.
Zyra's also a great ban.
Yeah.
Karma's a great ban.
I was about to say, not a lot of jungle focus, but that Elise banned away for Shorter Race, And then, there's the Kindred ban away.
We're seeing a lot of, like, either you ban Rek'Sai or you ban Kindred, and you usually don't see both of them banned. It's kind of strange.
Yeah. But first pick for Apex is going to be Karma.
Yep, Karma, flex pick, once again, could go to Shifter or Conquan. I assume it's going to Conquan, and now it enables them to pick Swain, which Chris did play in the last game in the top lane.
See who that ends up going to this time, as Rek'Sai, picked up by Shorter Race, picked away from Diamond Prox. We saw how tanky he was at the end of the game, going 1v2 to seal away the red buff, then 1 versus 4 to buy enough time for his team to collapse. So
there we go.
Yeah, Zyra is going to be the pickup for Eanix, likely going to Evaniscus, Nisker on support.
I love seeing Zyra. I hate playing against it. I love seeing it because I'm like, that person's smart because it's broken.
It does so much damage.
Yeah, I hate it. It's my solo queue ban.
And Thunderlords?
Every time. No, yeah, because the plants, as soon as they spawn, are going to get at least 1 auto attack off. So they get hit with the spell, they get 1 auto attack off, and then they're going to have a follow-up one. Because as soon as they spawn, the auto attack is pretty much already in the air.
Yeah.
And you can't kill them fast enough to not eat the second one. So they're always going to get Thunderlords off.
The plant, like, erupts out of the ground in an attack animation.
Yep.
Very angry plants. But a good way to deal with crowd control, I hear, is Olaf.
Olaf has kind of been the designated Zyra killer. You pick him in the jungle, you bring Ghost, and you just rush down and you avoid all the CC, and then you just destroy him faster than, or destroy Zyra faster than her team can kill you.
Olaf, not a fan of Zyra.
I'm never getting that guy a bouquet, you know?
Yeah.
Just
going crazy.
Throw it.
Tears it apart. But Trundle is locked in for Chris in the top lane.
Yeah, no Swain here. It's a little bit.
Not yet. We'll shift her.
Yeah.
Could see.
That is true. That is true. It's very true.
But Ezreal being looked at by Deftly.
I also think that the fact that they got Karma on their side, this is another reason why Karma is so good right now, is champions like Olaf, if the other team had Karma, it would be much riskier to pick him, because then they have a way to disengage from you.
Yeah.
Karma will help the Olaf engage and help him get in and gap close, as well as the Trundle, so you can pick a less mobile team. And there's a reason that Trundle doesn't have a gap closer. There's a reason that Olaf doesn't have a gap closer without a summoner spell. It's because they're so damn powerful when they make it to you.
If they catch you.
So Karma enables that to happen, and that's why they're so powerful, and that's why she's such a high priority pick right now.
Yeah, and maybe even a Sivir on top of that Karma. Diamond Prox is going to go fast.
He's going to go really fast.
Yeah.
If he takes Ghost, which I assume he will, I think that the Victor is the pick here because you're blind picking your mid lane. And Victor, with the movement speed, is incredibly good, too, because he can weave in and out. And he needs to get auto attacks in as well for his full damage rotation.
We've got the Formula 1 racing comp out of Apex Pride as they look to chase down Eanix. Victor is going to be the final hover. I think he's going to end up locking that in. Counterpick now to Popper's OP. He's got to deal with Shifter's Victor.
Maybe a Nazir here for him because you have disengaged from the Zyra.
Yeah.
Ryze is still on the table as well, but even if you pick a Nazir or a Nivea, it'll be kind of good because the Olaf can't really do too much about walls. He kind of looks like an idiot running into them. So, I mean, if he plays both those champions, I would expect him to lock in one of them.
Yeah, Twisted Fate was just hovered, and I was a little concerned, but Ahri is going to be the final pickup for Popper's OP in the mid lane.
Yeah, it looks like they're just playing for lane on the side of Apex, so I can understand going for the Ahri pick to try and have a little bit of pressure, because Tom was talking about it. Win lane, win game was the strategy for Apex Pride last game, and I think that they're going to try it again here, especially with this composition. A little bit of bullying in that bottom lane. You have the Victor for the constant wave clear, and then you have the Trundle, who wins most lane matchups, but Eanix answered incredibly well. The Zyra makes it so that any lane that she's playing against is pretty much one you want to lane swap away from. And then the Gnar against the Trundle constantly has that range advantage, constantly has the percent HP that he's able to deal with his hyper. And I think that that's a fantastic matchup for him. And it's really on the Trundle at that point to be like, the only way I can stop you is if I time my pillar to hit you while you're jumping. Otherwise, he just gets kind of auto attack down.
We'll definitely have to keep an eye on that matchup in the top lane. But for one last time tonight, head on over to Twitter and weigh in on the action. Hashtag APP win or hashtag ENX win. And will Apex get their first 2-0 or will Eanix be able to get their first win, period?
Yeah.
The race is on.
That's true. Apex, they need these wins, though, because they're at 5th place. They're a team that came in and said, hey, by the way, here's our roster. It's Chris, Challenger God, Diamond Prox, former God, still trying to prove himself once again to get back up there. Shifter from the LCS, who at one point, I remember being here and being like, Shifter has the best KDA, and it's like 14 or something. Like, this guy has had some great performances in the LCS, and he's shown that he's an LCS caliber mid laner. Roar, coming over from Korea, want to see how he synergizes with Kongkwan, who speaks Korean, right? Kongkwan was on Energy because one of the big reasons is he could translate for Impact and he could translate for GBM. So they brought him onto this squad for kind of the same reasons, but Kongkwan is very valuable in that regard.
Yeah, Apex Pride definitely showing up with a lot of experienced and talented players, but have not been able to convert it into a concrete 2-0 success yet. They did take their first win against Team Liquid Academy, who so far have only dropped, other than to their game to Apex, only dropped a single game to Cloud9. So they came in with high expectations, were not able to convert. Now they're trying to reclaim the race after having lost a few of those games. And it looks like there will be a lane swap. RF Legendary going to be going 1 versus 2 against Roar and Kongkwan. I expect he'll have to catch up with the jungler eventually. And yeah, now they spot out that that swap is happening.
Rule of thumb, always swap against a Zyra. Always, always, always swap away. Even if you're Karma. Like, Karma's one of the lanes where you're like, oh, maybe I want to play it. No, you don't want to play it. Her plants will block your Q. Her range is superior to yours.
I just want to clarify. You're talking about in the competitive sense, right? Not my wonderful gold elo.
Oh, I'm talking about in gold elo. You ban that shit. Ban it.
Don't let it happen.
Do not let that happen. It is so hard to deal with.
Yeah.
And you think like, oh, I shut her down, she's fine. It's like, no, she's gonna come back mid game and she's gonna have the highest damage in the game.
Haunting guys.
She doesn't even buy a locket. She doesn't need to buy a locket.
She will kill you before needing to.
Yes. She will kill you 5 times before that point.
Don't hold back. Tell us how you really feel.
I feel like she's broken.
Okay, so we'll see if Nisker will be able to use that effectively. He's going to be helping shove in this lane swap slightly faster by being able to drop plants to soak a few turret hits. But jungler, as you just saw, Shorter Ace is on that side. He'll catch up eventually. Diamond Prox is heading towards the mid lane. He's currently crossing the jungle. Yeah, he's
He's going for the red
right now.
Yeah, he's going for the top side red. As Olaf, you do want to get a little bit lower. That's why he hasn't used his potions, so he has the increased attack speed from his passive. Increases your jungle clear time speed. It's kind of a double-edged sword in normal lanes because if you do get invaded, you're low.
Yeah. Trying to gift over that gold. Pretty good bounce from Chris.
Really good, really standard. They're going to be able to back on a pretty good timer there. Cole picked up 4 Roar. That's also standard. I know that Ezreals really like to pick up their tier first back, but they don't typically have enough gold. They have like about 80 less than they need. They were back with like 600-ish. I mean, if you get some turret gold, then maybe you could get your tier. But they do like to go for the cull because the cull is usually purchased by people in lane swaps. The 80 carries after the first tower goes down.
Yeah, but if you do take some of that gold, you deny it from your top laner, who's already in an effectively denied situation.
Yeah, they need to be on equal footing.
So, looks like double swap, double tower continues.
Didn't really get a whole lot of this wave. You would really want to thin this wave out as Trundle. It looks like they avoided that ward. Yeah, that's not a good ward. So you ward in the middle of the lane, and then in your tri-brush after lane swaps. And what happened was Chris didn't really see him coming, and I was like, oh, okay. Now I see Zyra at the tri-brush, and that's way too close to try and get a shove on. So he only saw the 80 carry coming, which when you see the 80 carry coming, you want to stay there as a top laner and just be like, oh, okay, I can still...
The support is roaming.
Yeah, the support is roaming. You know, that's the big problem is you don't want to go up against both of them. Going up against one is totally fine.
Bit of a mistake from Apex. Not 100% locked down on the...
It was just the vision that he had, right? Like,
yeah,
he made the right choice, but it was just the wards. Whoever put those wards set him up. That set me up.
So it was the support. I always assume it is the support warding.
Yeah, didn't put the ward deep enough.
Yeah, lots of plants, meanwhile, building up around. RF Legendary has got a really big minion wave.
Yeah, if he doesn't attack, it'll thin out a bit, but...
In answer, though, Diamond Proxy is going to try to start off this Drake. No one's on the way to help him, and he's going to take a lot of damage, though his own damage will go up over time as his health lowers. It's a bit of a gamble to try to rush down that Drake without any support.
I actually think he's fine because they're going to be able to take this turret and then walk over to him. Yeah, he's got his potions running now, so... He was fine all along. He didn't need them.
Yeah, shorter ace, just a few seconds too late. That would have been a very low health Diamond Prox without level 6, without flash, trapped in the Drake pit. Unfortunately, though, it was secured. Infernal Drake #1, Apex Pride, as the double tower take is completed. 6.5 minutes in, everyone heads back to standard lanes.
We gotta find like a clever name for
The double tower?
Yeah, it's like a Lord of the Rings #2.
The twin towers.
After they Urukai the lane swap.
Oh man, battle of the two armies. It's not very inspiring.
Yeah, and then Helm's Deep that. But yes,
Chris is taking his rings to Isengard.
Is he? Oh man.
No, that's actually Shifter.
Yeah, I was like, he's got the Dorans right there.
Shifter's taking
Popper's got more. Anyway. But yeah, one day we'll find a clever name for that lane swap so we can just say, oh yeah, they did the ba-ba-ba, and then...
I think that's good. The ba-ba-ba.
The ba-ba-ba.
So the ba-ba-ba completed.
All right.
Between Apex Pride.
Ceremonial dance in the first 7 minutes of the game, the ba-ba-ba.
Yeah, Shifter walks away from the potential gank that shorter ace could have affected. And with the ba-ba-ba, that means that Roar and Conquan, you're laughing. I'm completely serious. This is now a thing. Could be looking to dive RF Legendary.
If he can stop the lead with his pillar. Oh, didn't quite get it. But he had to use that anyway, because otherwise RF would have just walked into turret range.
Oh, Charm misses. And Poppers gets chunked to half.
Yeah, that ultimate is so fast that it's basically the same movement speed, especially when you don't have boots. And then when you get Rylai's or your completely upgraded Hex Core, dodging that ultimate once it's been put down is pretty much impossible. You have to blow a summoner spell, and even then it's like, hey, I heard you like getting away, so let's stop that.
Oh, Poppers tries to all in. Can he land the charm? No, he can't. So close.
Yep, and here comes Diamond.
Yeah. Oh, one final dash means Poppers can get out.
Yep, Poppers just dodging. And I think that Eanix, you know, they could group up mid here. You do have the Zyra, who just gets to hang around, put down a lot of seeds. And Eanix, they definitely want this Rift Herald because they gave up that Infernal Drake. I'm surprised that it took them this long to actually get to this point, but they had to shove out the top wave. Chris is freezing it, and this is what's allowing them to get this.
That Rift Herald doing a lot of damage to Shorter Ace, but they should be able to secure it. Yeah, Smite, and it's gifted over to Shorter Ace. But the ba-ba-ba did also result in a ba at the end. Another tier 2 turret was secured, bringing us to 3 turrets in favor of Apex Pride. That was a heavy side. That was a deep side.
That was a very heavy side. Yeah, they took that second turret and then they got the Rift Herald for it on the side of Eanix. But Eanix still slightly ahead in gold over Apex. That's actually quite incredible because turrets are worth a hefty chunk of gold, and it's mostly because of that top lane farm. It's the top lane farm for RF Legendary that's gotten him ahead, and that mid lane farm of Poppers. Also interested in the gold generation here from the Spelthy Edge.
Comparatively.
Pretty equal, pretty equal.
Yeah, 10 minutes in. Eanix now starting to send some people towards that bottom side of the map. Blue buff gifted over previously to Shifter. Now Poppers will get one of his own. Using the correct Ahri skin, I see.
Is that Challenger Ahri? Is that what I'm hearing?
So there actually is, the Popstar Ahri is the most difficult to see all of the projectiles on because the colors blur together, the white and blue and pink. Whereas on Challenger, it's a contrast. It's red, white, and blue against each other. So it is most difficult to see the particle and spell effects on Popstar Ahri and easiest to see on Challenger Ahri. So if you're learning Ahri, practice with Challenger. If you're already very good with her, play with Popstar. That's my Ahri fact of the day. You also don't want to stand in gravity fields and hate your charms.
Thank you. I was going to do that. I was gonna miss all of them and stand right in the gravity field every time. Because nobody had told me otherwise. You know? How am I supposed to know?
Oh, Chris actually did just drop his Subjugate, so he's going to be burning through RF Legendary stats.
Yeah, he just wants the HP back. RF's just going to auto-attack. He is taking a lot of caster minion damage here. He's got to be quite careful.
That was a big chomp.
Yeah. Takes a lot of damage away as well. And Roar!
No, he is going to back away and escape with his life.
Oh, they didn't quite get him, but Poppers!
Poppers is exhausted. Ignite burns him down, and he's able to escape from the tier 2 turret.
But it took him 4 people to do so, and on the top side of the map, Diamond Proc shows up, and they shove RF Legendary out. So they're going to get a lot of damage on this top turret.
Yeah, RF Legendary actually flashed as well. We missed that off screen, but they're looking for the tier 2. Don't have any minions just yet as they get a few hits off. And the recall was completed from Eanix, so good attempt from Apex to try to turn that situation around.
Yeah, but they actually have more damage on this turret than that bottom tier 2, so that bottom tier 2 from Eanix, it's going to require a couple more waves here. I know the Sivir isn't going to be here just yet, and the Karma hasn't cleared the wave out, so...
Yeah, they're trying to shove it down. They've got a cannon minion to buy time. There's Roar. He's finally going to be able to clear it out with a couple of ricochets. And
well, yep, it's too greedy.
Yeah, both of the tier 2s stay standing. So when it's all said and done, minor gold lead for Eanix, about 500 after the double turret is completed and everyone sort of resets. But Eanix have shown, hey, Roar went off last game. Let's shut him down this time.
Yeah, I think it's a good strategy. I'm surprised that the Jhin didn't come out again, but Jhin could be counterpicked, and they had actually saved their last pick mid. So the last pick mid is something that you have to fear as a Jhin. You know that you can actually take a low mobility champion into pretty much any, or sorry, not in almost any matchup in mid lane. So the Ahri would have really punished the Jhin. You dive him, he's got no way to really escape.
Very high mobility, but Cloud Drake spawns, and Eanix are the ones who get the fast track towards it, and it looks like Apex are content to give it up. No vision around the pit, not playing around that side of the map for now.
Is it another Cloud? It is.
And next Drake will also be a Cloud, spawning at 1930. So, Eanix get themselves right back into it. It's now even in gold, despite that dragon take, as a couple of minions were picked up by Apex on the side lane. But, seems like the win lane, win game strategy for Apex not quite working out the same in this game.
Yeah, not quite. They're even with a little bit up now because you can see the CS. Roar actually got a gigantic wave for himself. There's a big wave top that RF is about to take, and there's this wave on bottom, so the gold will actually be back in Eanix's favor if they pick it all up. And yeah, Apex playing for the lane a little bit, but they had to lane swap against the Zyra. So now they're long lanes, and we aren't seeing as much action out of Diamond Procs or Shorter Ace at the moment, or at least successful ganks. We've seen that one.
Yeah, 3 roam mid. Poppers actually drops the Spirit Rush.
Yeah.
4 members actually head towards mid.
Yeah, sieging mid after you have all those outer turrets out is probably the most linear strategy, where you're just like, okay, we got both the top and the bottom. Best thing to do is get this mid one down. Whether it's chunking out the enemy mid laner, running them out of mana, making sure they don't have a blue buff, and you do. There's a lot of avenues to do so, and it's going to be interesting to see which one Apex and Eanix both try, if they do try to play towards this mid lane, or if they continue to try and play towards their side lanes. Because right now, both junglers are top side.
Yeah, they're going to try to look for a gank. Chris, still hanging on to the Subjugate, just drops the Frozen Domain and wanders off. Diamond Procs violently clearing out vision for Eanix. And Roar being spoon-fed CS by Apex Pride.
That's not what I call it. I call that theft. Those are my camps.
Thievery.
Those are my camps. Spoon-fed.
I'm sure he asked. He was like,
Oh,
hey,
oh, you.
can I take this?
Nobody asks. Nobody asks. Even when I want to smite it, nobody asks.
He probably asked it in Korean, and Con was like, sure. And Diamond Procs was like, what?
Procs is like, what did he say?
Yeah, but that's red buff also going over to Roar as he heads back towards the bottom. Poppers gets a pink ward over the wall, and with deftly in the mid lane, means that Roar has to play a little bit more defensive.
Yeah, and that Ahri looking to kind of pick on Roar before he gets off the ground with his items. You can see the Morellonomicon already came out. And now they're just trying to look for avenues right now. Everybody's trying to test the armor, find where the cracks are, and then try to get an advantage there. Because last game, looked like Apex really got a large advantage off of Roar in the laning phase. Then they were able to transition that off of that. But now it's kind of hard to find where their advantage is coming from. Got to clear these waves too.
Yeah, this time Roar is the only death for Apex Pride, as they've got to stick to a more conventional strategy, such as sieging the mid lane.
Yeah, out-rotated there. So Apex actually get there so quickly. Diamond Procs runs out of the fog of war, and they got duped. They had no idea that was happening.
Oh! Poppers over the wall. Spell Shield goes down far too soon. And a quick assassination by Poppers.
Yeah, got his flash got his heal for his ignite, and neither of them blue flash there in that exchange. But gold still even though there's 2 turrets down for Eanix, which is huge because turrets are worth about, I think, 800 gold at the moment. So you really have to look at it and be like, okay, or sorry, 1,000 gold at the moment. So you really have to look at it and be like, okay, that's a lot of gold that's just being made up by CS and some other things on the map.
Yeah, Eanix playing this much better than their previous match. still looking for their first win, and so far, they've got an advantage. This might be the game to do it.
I was wrong. It's 800 gold. I remembered again. Some of them used to be 1,000 and stuff like that. So,
whoa! RF Legendary over the wall. Diamond procs Ragnarok's.
Oh.
Ragnarok and rolls his way out. Meanwhile, Popper's waiting in that bottom lane once again.
He wants Roar. He wants Roar again. He doesn't have the Ignite this time, but knows he doesn't have the heal. So yeah, he can't come to this bottom lane. So just putting their assassin in the off lane and just making it so that isn't a place that the AD carry can go.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that's a... oh, True Shot Barrage goes all the way downtown.
Yep. Didn't hit him in the fountain either. And, oh, that's a lot of damage taken there by Nisker.
Nisker's like, I'm kidding. Sorry, it was a joke. Just a prank. Ooh.
Rylai's already completed 4 shifter. Gonna check again. Not close at all to completing his 3rd upgrade.
The perfect Hex Core.
Yep, it's gonna take him about 2,000 more to do so.
Why is it that every time Victor gets played, he has to re-upgrade his Hex Core? From a thematic standpoint, does he just have to... He takes 3 tries to perfect it, and he's constantly making the same mistakes every time he tries to upgrade it?
No, he's just upgrading things one at a time.
Well, sure.
He's a poor man. He needs resources to upgrade certain things. That's why when he first upgrades, it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to enhance my laser. And then I'm going to enhance my siphon. And now I'm going to enhance my gravity field.
But then whenever he gets to the 3rd thing, he's like, oh, and while I'm at it, I might as well increase the speed on my most powerful ability.
Well, at that point, he goes, Eureka, I found it! After all of his research and all of his experience upgrading 3 times, right? 3rd time's a charm. He goes, that's it. That's what I need to do. Because he's done it 3 times now, he figures out how to improve it even further. Making shit up 101. But no, that's canon now.
Like, I imagine it's like a drone, and he's like, oh, I could just take off the safety inhibitor so that it goes faster.
Oh, yeah. Oh, of course. It took me 1,000 gold to do that.
Yes.
That's like the amp tome into Majai's problem, where it's like,
it was a book, but it cost 1,000 gold to open it.
Yeah, I could have just opened the damn thing. I didn't need a shopkeeper to tell me that. And then 2 amp tomes make a gun. Don't stay in school, kids. Stay in school.
Funny thing, Magic, Diamond Procs. Whoa, he's taking a lot of damage.
Go down.
He's going to be dropped by Poppers and Shorter Ace. The 3rd kill for Eanix.
Yeah, and Poppers right now is doing work on this Ahri. This last pick for him definitely is coming up big. They're able to split push. No teleports really to answer him. Shifter brought the heal to the mid lane because he thought that the pressure was going to be on him. And that's the 2nd Cloud Drake there for Eanix. And Eanix have a lead in some of the objectives, but not all of them. They're still down in turrets, gold even, and they're 3-0 right now. If they can continue to have this type of courage when they play and really punish Apex for what they've been doing, which is going really far forward and having to run at your team with their comp, then Eanix actually could walk away with their 1st victory in the Challenger Series.
Yeah, and that would be a huge moral win for them. The fact that, hey, we can actually take a win. We can play. Might be the beginning of something for them, but they've still got to close this match right now out. It's only 22 minutes in, even in gold, despite those 2,000 gold still on the map for Eanix. So we'll see if they can continue to slowly try to get an advantage, because right now they've been even.
Yeah, that's true. And yeah, the turret thing is great because they used to be like 800 gold, 1,000 gold. Now I think they're all 800 gold across the board because it's 300 to the person nearby, and then it's 100 to everybody. So it's 500, or sorry, it's 300 plus 500, so it's the 800. So you give 400 to your top laner and he just stays there.
Oh.
It's fast, it's fast, it's fast!
It's gonna catch him up. He turned up the speed and Nisker will go down. Diamond Procs chases it and kills Secure with an axe.
Yeah, so Nisker flashed and he has Swifty boots and he still can't get away. Speaking of not getting away.
Oh, Chris jumps in and gets destroyed before he can subjugate. He's going to go down to deftly. Meanwhile, Shorter Race flash knock up onto 2. They're trying to get into Apex's team fight. Shifter eats a big true shot barrage.
Oh, he misses.
House is going to miss. Shifter is going to get the laser, and he's now going to try to walk this away as the rest of Apex try to turn this fight back around. Shut down, but Roar himself will be shut down.
Oh, he's going to try for it.
Oh, definitely not able to break through the shield. That ends up being a 3 for 3 in favor of neither team because that's an even number.
Yeah, and I love you so much. The tower goes down, and now it's just 1 tower difference between the 2 teams. Oh man, that got me. Nisker, he has to flash, he gets healed, and he has Swifties! And he still gets killed because Shifter flashes to apply another spell effect to him to apply the Rylai's again. So he can't even make it away from it. Chris comes through. Great charm there from Popper's OP. And Chris doesn't flash immediately. Instead, he puts the pillar up first with his kind of only like 5 or so frames that he was able to cast anything. Almost gets Shifter here. RF comes forward. Dodges off to the side, and then Shorter Ace, yeah.
Oh, so close.
Eats the back half of the Death Ray, and that's what ends up killing him. And then the counter kill there between Popper's OP and Roar makes it that 3 for 3, which is an even number.
Eanix, in the meanwhile, were able to knock down that mid-tier 1. And Apex, after those kills, have closed the gold lead just a bit.
Yeah.
So it's 600 gold in favor of Eanix, but they still have 1,000 on the map if they can eventually end up securing it.
Yep.
As that Axe not going to find any Krugs.
Nope, but they might find another turret for themselves here.
Yeah, this tier 2 was already chunked down quite a bit.
Oh, he used the charm to actually kill off the minion, the tower, or the cannon minion. Make sure the tower doesn't go down.
Yeah, so
everybody's up.
Huge.
This is everybody.
Yeah, huge wave clear from Poppers. Going for the Rabadons first means he's going to clear through minions really quickly.
Yeah, Morellonomicon right into that. So, gotta wonder if he's going for that Zhonya's next. If he's going to go for
Void Staff,
Luden's, Void Staff. Yeah, there isn't too much MR yet, but Void Staff always really feels great.
Yeah. Especially when you've already got the Rabadons, it just amplifies it so much. Very powerful choice as 25 minutes in, Apex make an aggressive move to the top side of the map, but aren't able to lock down the turret. 90 seconds now until that 4th Drake, the Ocean Drake, spawns. Oh, did he? Oh, he had to smite. Okay. So Smite is going to secure that. He sees that there's a ward right on top of him and has to run away.
Yeah, that's the salty jungler. You get your camp smited away, you get raptors, and you're like, here's a ward.
No buff for you.
That's right. That's right. Walk away. You can't get this ward.
I can see everything you're doing.
Clearly. But don't let him kill that ward, because then you just look silly.
Yeah, then
like,
that's
here's
not
some
worth
gold.
That's not worth.
No.
That's a gift at that point. That's reported for assisting enemy team. 30 gold is a health potion.
Man, one of these days I'm just going to report my support for putting down so many wards in the same spot. It's like they just swept 4 wards and killed your pink.
That's so much value.
9x this bot lane.
So much value. But Eanix still going even with Apex right now. 26, 27 minutes in. Now trying to clear out the vision around the Baron side of the map. Might try to look for some sort of play. Yet again, look for another pick.
I think you pick, yeah, exactly. I think that they're all about this pick right now. And
ooh, did he get it? Quick go to Ezreal.
Yes,
oh, he got
did.
it! Hey! Nice. Well, that means Ezreal's going to be very annoying for the duration of this Drake.
Yeah. It also means that Shifter doesn't get one, which is incredibly important because this build is relying on the CDR that you get from that, plus the Iron Boots of Lucidity, and now he just has those. So no blue buff, no constant rotations, no ability to just throw out the spells whenever you feel like it. And they're going to try to shove mid wave because they don't care about this Ocean Drake.
Whoa!
Ooh.
Speaking of pick, Poppers lands a charm, and
Poppers is going to try to carry this game for Eanix. He's already shut down Roar. Roar is on a utility champion, so he can still offer a little bit, but Poppers is popping off.
I remember we joked about it, and we were like, no, we can't possibly say that during a cast. But it's happened. Poppers is trying to carry as best he can. 4-1 and 3 right now. Doing what he can to get his team further ahead is definitely having a much stronger showing in this game number 2 than previously.
Yeah, and Poppers is also sitting on about 1,700, 1,800 gold right now. If they get this turret, it's even more for him right here. No follow-up.
Yeah, they're actually going to teleport and
cancel. Shorter. He already tunneled. That was a complete miscommunication there.
Yeah.
That looked like Shorter Ace had tunneled in because he thought that they were going to follow Nisker's ultimate, and Poppers was like, no, I'm not even going to walk forward to charm. He got a gravity field down. And that's Shorter Ace dying, and that's pressure going over to Apex. They get to clear all of Baron. They get to set up for Baron. That's the smite down. He has some tunnels, and he has ultimate, the Void Rush, but it's just super risky from Apex, but they set it up.
Yeah, they don't have On the Hunt for Roar, but they will be able to escape with a quick Mantrid Shield out of Conquan. Eanix, though, continue to look for a pick. Poppers waiting inside of a warded bush. Snare catches Chris, but Apex don't fall for the bait. There goes the Void Rush as Shorter Ace will finally start to catch up with the rest of his team. And despite the fact that that was a successful pick for Apex, they only managed to clear out some of the vision of Eanix. You can see Eanix now shoving forward just a bit, trying to press that small advantage they have on this tier 2.
Yeah.
Sivir has just so much wave clear. There's some really good poke, though.
Nisker's almost dead. Just those crits. You can see he's now hit those 3 item spikes where he has so much crit. And check it right now just to 100% make sure. Sitting on the 70% crit chance, yes, so he doesn't have anything extra helping him out at all. Very rarely do you, but I was like, does he have that 1% crit rune that some people run? It's like, nope, 70% crit there from his items.
Ooh, good damage from Poppers, denying the recall of Chris.
Yeah, Poppers sitting on 2,100 gold right now. Gotta buy something sometime.
No. He'll be fine. It's only 30 minutes into the game. I can't imagine more items would help. Yeah, he could be looking for a straight-up Void Staff buy. He's only about 200-300 gold away from having enough to buy that.
Yeah, man, they'll never see it coming. That's what you do, is you just save up all your gold until you can flat buy it, because you don't want them to react to what you're doing. It's like, as soon as they see the Blasting Wand come through, they're like, oh, that's got to be Void Staff.
He just cleared out Gromp and is now clearing out the Wolves, which I think might be enough.
2,500 right now.
Yep, he can buy it.
Sells the Doran's Ring.
Yep. Void Staff.
It's a Void Staff.
They'll never see it coming.
Yep, they had no idea this Void Staff is coming in.
To be fair, there is a Spirit Visage completed on Chris and a Guardian Angel for a lot of magic resist on Diamond Proc, so that's going to help burn through the tanks if he lands a charm.
And like the other thing that some people forget is, although Lord Dominic's Regards and Mortal Reminder were changed to bonus armor, Void Staff is still just all magic resistance.
Yeah.
So it's good against squishies as well.
Very strong item. Poppers, once again, looking for picks as he hunts around the map. The assistance of Eanix will be able to get some vision and do a pretty good job of clearing that out. But right now, it seems like Eanix are having a bit of trouble pressing this advantage. They've been keeping pace with Apex. They've been finding picks. But so far, the only major things they've been able to take was that Rift Herald on Shorter Ace and a handful of Drakes of their own.
Yeah, they've got 3 Drakes, though, so they've had relatively good control of that area.
Yeah.
They're just missing out on that 1 turret at the moment. And I think that the Baron fights are going to start coming in now, 32 minutes. I think this is the longest game we've seen of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Apex, they took the last game very convincingly, but Eanix, with Poppers getting a little bit fed early on, it's definitely changed the tides. And Shorter Ace, again, over the wall. It looks like Shorter's a little bit off the same pages as his teammates. Oh, Banner of Command as well. So usually Zyras don't get Locket, but if they do, I definitely think that banner of command is a lot better.
I just want to be sure. You're saying definitely, correct?
For
It sounds like you're saying deftly.
no,
The
definitely
80 carry. I thought you were trying to slip in the subtle
No.
freak.
no.
They're definitely doing well.
Yeah,
No, they are definitely.
yeah.
Oh gosh!
Oh, it's the Zyra killer.
Greedy recall. He's going to be able to flash and escape. True Shot Barrage does some damage. Teleport was in fact canceled by RF Legendary.
Little interesting that it was canceled. Not sure why exactly, but it got canceled. Oh, he did it because he's going to get there anyway, and it's a shorter cooldown. So completing it versus canceling it. He cancels it because he wants the shorter cooldown.
Chris still has his own.
Figured it out.
RF Legendary is having so much fun. He would say that time is flying.
Why?
Throws a pocket watch.
Oh.
It's not the reaction I was hoping for.
Good job.
I feel like you're just gonna give me like a tiny ribbon, like congratulations.
You did it. You did it.
Participation ribbon.
Ocean Drake, second one for Eanix here. And yeah, it's that Elder Drake next. So I'm expecting some picks to go down. Hopefully some vision denial, some vision clearing happening around that Baron for both teams, because that's how you're going to start making a play in this game. Shoving up the mid lane and then getting one of those, because both teams have decent siege and siege breaking.
Eanix have been sieging a couple other times. Haven't quite been able to break down that mid-tier 2 yet. They finally knocked down the mid-tier 1 after a long fought battle, but still haven't even broken that top tier 2. So currently it's Apex with the turret advantage.
Just by one, and the difference is they're top tier 2, like you said.
Yeah.
Oh. Deftly, almost. They're just grouping up, having their split push happen. They know that there's a TP advantage here on Apex's side because they saw the TP from RF be used. It's almost off of cooldown, but it is still going to be a decent amount of time, about 40 seconds.
Yeah. Apex do have the hard engage with On the Hunt and Karma. If they decide to run in, it's going to be awful fast. But Eanix respecting Apex's distance, playing back, taking their time, looking for picks. And Apex have not let a lot of those picks happen.
Yeah, and Apex, they haven't really gone for the team fights either ever since they started losing them. They were having some issues with getting picked. And I mean, Apex, a lot of these members have had trouble very recently with closing games out or even finding ways or creative ways to end the game or get advantages. So Apex and Eanix both struggle from this. So this may be a very stagnant game for a while if they aren't trying to force the issue and take the risk, because there are some low-risk things that get you large advantages at this point in the game.
Yeah, finally we're starting to see Chris split push a little bit more into RF Legendary, who now has his teleport back up.
Yeah. Like, right now, I definitely think you try to go for this Baron, and you try to bait it over and over again. But you should have done that when the teleport wasn't up.
Bit of a missed opportunity for Apex Pride. They're going to get some damage down onto this, though. Here comes the rest of Eanix. Late teleport. They're going to turn it around into a fight. Diamond Prox chases forward. Yeah, Nisker gets a huge knockup. Diamond Prox is going to get one, but he will trade. Guardian Angel
RF has
get him
transformed.
right back up. RF finally about to go mega. As he gets to the slam, he finds 3, locks them down, and they have got some huge damage with Roar and Poppers, though Roar will go down. Shorter Ace is going to fall as well, and despite the AoE Wombo combo from Eanix, it's a triple kill for Roar, and Apex take the fight.
Yeah, as the Wombo combo comes through, but still, it's the big damage from Shifter and Roar that decimates that team fight. The crit from the Sivir, and then the ultimate from the Victor with all of his spells laced in between is how they pick up the fight there, and now Apex are off to pretty much the first sizable lead we've seen of about 3,000 gold.
Yeah, with this Baron, they're going to look to finally break down that last remaining tier 2 in the mid lane for Eanix. No Ahri to wave clear it. In fact, on the hunt, forces Flash away from Nisker.
Yeah.
So that tier 2 finally drops. They might try to look for the inhib, now decide to back away and play it safe for now. They've got it on a lot of members on their team, but here's that fight again.
Yeah, and you can see Nisker a little far forward, wants to get the ward over, throws down the ultimate after the grasping roots. They have the ultimate from Ezreal hit 3. They killed it, and now great gravity field there. Diamond Prox comes back, they kill him, and then immediately Shorter Race goes in, and definitely too far forward, taking a lot of those ricochet bounces, and then the ultimate from Victor is just doing work at that point. And the flash from Roar to get the auto attack is what ends up getting him that kill and the triple kill at the end.
Yeah, huge play from Roar. There was a lot of hope that he would be able to do a lot with this Apex team, and so far he hasn't had stellar performances, but this time seems like he's finally starting to come into a groove. In game 1, going off as Jhin in that team fight, really coming to life.
Yeah, and Sivir, now that he has like 70% crit and he has the Maw, it's going to be very hard to kill, and he's going to be doing a lot of damage to everybody on this team if that Ricochet follows through, because we were seeing it decimate a minion wave with one Ricochet doing 700 down the line. It's going to be pretty ridiculous.
That's going to be a lot of value. They're trying to break down this inhibitor. There goes Conquan.
Double cannons.
Tries to pull it in. Yeah, the double cannons are going to shove forward. Apex Pride, though, still respecting Eanix. They don't want to take any chances with this win. They're still looking for that 2-0.
Shorter Race on this Rek'Sai. Some questionable engages and questionable advances. Doesn't have flash right now, so if he commits, he is all in. He is either going to die or he's gonna get his kill, or gonna get his team some kills. It's kind of the worst situation to be in as Rek'Sai is late game, no flash.
Yeah, 40 minutes in, Apex Pride with Baron buff. Take the inhibitor in mid lane. Able to secure a concrete advantage now, 5,000 going on 6,000 gold.
Yep, Elder Dragon in 10 seconds here.
Yeah, Eanix are looking to fight. They're trying to collapse onto Conquan and Roar. RF Legendary gets snared, and Diamond Prox is separated from his team.
He can't get killed if they kill him.
Yeah, they cannot stop Diamond Prox. He gets through Eanix's lines, back towards his own side of the map now that Elder Dragon is up. 10 members are gathered around the pit. This would be huge for Eanix. Bonus 225 true damage burn on every auto attack.
Yeah, exactly. That's the big one, is that Eanix really want it. They have those 4 Drakes, and if they can get this Elder Dragon, then all of their work pays off.
Charm finds Diamond. He still has no Ragnarok. Poppers eats a pillar and a laser, chunk to half. True Shot Barrage aggroes the dragon, but it doesn't find a target to lock onto. There
Or it does it.
Yeah, finally going to make up its mind and decide to burn through Chris. Now Eanix have got to try to turn this around. RF Legendary is pretty far from Meganar. Deftly will zone them away from the far side. Now it's Eanix who are tanking it. Trading aggro back and forth.
Yeah, it does more damage to Eanix because it'll increase its damage by 20% per stack, so it's doing 80% more to the Eanix members. And they have to go check out their base. Yeah, this is going to be Elder Dragon going over. You have to contest this. You have to fight over this, or you're just done.
Or dropped into the middle for RF Legendary. He's got teleport. It's chunked down to about 4,000. Chris zoning in the front. There goes Donovan.
Shorter's in too early.
He's going too far. Shorter is taking a lot. They turn onto Shorter Race. Meanwhile, Roar goes forward, and they try to kite it out. There's a teleport onto the gravity field. RF Legendary is Meganar, but he doesn't quite have enough to find a stun. He's zoned away, and Elder Dragon resets. Super Minions are pushing into the base of Eanix, and they are not responding.
Yeah, and they're going to wait for RF Legendary's Gnar to wear off, and then they're going to ulti in, and Nisker's caught.
Oh, he gets destroyed by Apex. Roar gets the kill. Meanwhile, Super Minions are continuing to flood into Eanix's base. They turn back onto the Elder Dragon. Those Ocean Drakes give them so much regeneration. Popper's looking for the assassination. He's got the Charm Spirit Rush. True Shot Barrage finds some good damage.
They're taking a lot of damage from this Elder Dragon.
Oh, Diamond Prox eats a Charm.
He's got GA now, though.
Doesn't have that Ragnarok yet. The Elder Dragon does good damage to Shorter Race. Super Minion's not going to be able to drop it down. And finally, Apex are going to back away. Or are they? Diamond Prox goes back in. He's got Ragnarok in the GA. This is a very extended fight. There goes on the hot convoy. It's caught and destroyed. RF Legendary finds a stun onto 2. Diamond Prox tries to kite it out, but Roar does so much damage. Nothing is going to be able to stop him as Apex pick up 3 kills.
And Roar just cleans up that team fight, the back and forth from Apex and Eanix at that Dragon, knowing that whoever gets this wins the game, but if you get the fight, you also win the game, especially if you're Apex, because you have all of this damage already dealt to this, and Nisker got caught at the start, and it gave them a numbers advantage. And Apex are going to move to their first 2-0.
Yeah, the Nexus finally is going to go down. Apex in a 43.5-minute win will take, as you said, their first 2-0 victory. And that's currently going to bring them up to 4 points in the standings. Currently 1-1-1. Finally starting to get their stride with a few wins.
Yeah, and that's going to put them tied with Nova and Dream Team right now, who were both tied for first at the start of the day, but dropped down because, you know, we did have teams like TLA and Cloud9 Challenger play against those 2 squads and come out with 2-0 victories. So every game today, 2-0.
Yeah, some very convincing games we're seeing today, but Apex Pride, they looked a little out of sorts over the course of that match. It really was sort of a patient wait out the advantage.
Yeah, they had a lot of kind of wind taken out of their sails when kills were going over to Poppers and the Ezreal started getting off the ground as well. But Roar came in, was like, oh, by the way, I have all these items now, and definitely played those team fights incredibly well as a Sivir. It's not easy to play fights as a Sivir sometimes.
Yeah, definitely getting some huge crits with those ricochets, auto attack after auto attack. Really starting to show that he is starting to come online with the new team. The gamble is starting to pay off for Apex.
Yeah, Apex off to a very slow start, like I said, at that 5th place. And still coming into this next week, though, they're still in that 5th place kind of because they're tied in a 3-way tie for 3rd.
Yeah.
So that puts them anywhere from 3rd place to 5th place.
Well, that does bring them out of bottom of the pack teams into middle of the pack teams, which is definitely a much needed step.
Yeah, it basically makes it so that there's only a bottom team and then there's middle of the pack teams. There's Eanix and then there's 3 teams tied for 3rd.
Yeah.
And then there's Liquid and then there's C9.
Mm-hmm. We did still see some good play from Eanix over the course of that game, but they showed a lot of trouble trying to close that match out.
Yeah, I think that definitely synergy with Nisker. Nisker seemed a little bit too far forward a lot of the times on Zyra. Really bad positioning in a lot of those fights. And then Poppers did have a good time. Poppers had some really good plays early on. It was just transitioning that seemed to be a little bit too hard for them to do with the composition that they had and people getting caught out. The Olaf's just going to rush down and pick off Nisker, but it's much easier when he's on that front line.
Yeah, it certainly was. But now with 2 weeks left of regular play, well, here's how the teams currently sit in the standings. Cloud9 Challenger has taken sole possession of 1st place and have a 2-point lead over Team Liquid Academy in 2nd place.
And Apex Pride have pulled themselves up into a 3-way tie for 3rd place with Dream Team and Nova. And in last place, it's Eanix.
Yeah, that's our show for tonight, but make sure you tune in for Week 4 of the European LCS. That's going to hit your streams 8 a.m. Pacific or 5 p.m. for everyone watching in Europe tomorrow.
Yeah, and then we'll be back next Wednesday with our penultimate week of action. That kicks off with our marquee matchup. I'm totally reading, right?
Yeah.
With our marquee matchup between Nova and Eanix, followed by Apex going up against Cloud9 Challenger. And we'll cap it off with Dream Team versus Team Liquid Academy.
Yeah, well, now for myself, Aiden, Zyrene, Moon, the most optimal of Toms, and the entire hard-working folks here in the Challenger Labs, thank you so much for watching, and GG.